Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about newborn sleep and all the expectations I had before giving birth to my first baby Emma 3 years ago. So when I was pregnant with my first child, I was of course overexcited and I was trying to find out and learn as much as I could about newborn babies and motherhood. So I was reading books, I was watching YouTube videos from newborn essential videos to birth vlogs, and I was asking people around me tons of questions. And so of course when it comes to newborn, the three biggest topics are breastfeeding or bottle feeding, colics and sleep. But I was really much more concerned about the first two than about sleep. See, I had some very clear expectations of what my newborn sleep would look like. I knew it would be hard, don't get me wrong, but I felt like I had a pretty clear picture of what it would be like. So here are some of the expectations that I had. First, I had heard that newborn babies sleep around 18 hours a day. And I had also heard the very wise words, sleep while your baby sleeps. So I thought, it's alright if my baby wakes up every hour and a half or every 2 hours, because they'll be sleeping so much throughout the day that I can get some rest while they sleep. And 18 hours is a lot of time. The second thing is I was fully expecting my baby to sleep through the night by the time they're 12 weeks old. And now looking back, it sounds really silly and crazy, but my mom had 4 children and all 4 of us slept through the night by the time we were 12 weeks old. So I grew up with this time frame in mind. And then, there's tons of, there's actually a book called 12 Hours Sleep by 12 Weeks Old. And I have read that book. And there's so many books, telling you how you can get your baby to sleep by 12 weeks old. And I thought, it's fine. If I follow the routine and if I do what the book tells me to do, then that's what's going to happen. And my baby is going to sleep through the night. Come on, worst case scenario, by the time the baby is 5 months old or 6 months old, my baby will sleep through the night. So that was my second expectation. My third and final expectation was that, it's not so much an expectation. It didn't cross my mind that my baby wouldn't want to sleep in their cot bed. I just expected my baby to sleep in their bed from the start. So I had I had this sleepy head, which is a kind of a pillow that you put in your baby cot bed to make it all nice and cozy and comfortable. And so I was fully expecting my baby to be completely fine with that and to go to sleep in their own bed every nap, every night, without any problem. And then my beautiful daughter Emma was born. And she was the most amazing, beautiful baby. She was a sweet little angel. She still is my dearest little angel and I love her so much. But God, she did not sleep. So she did not sleep 18 hours a day, that's for sure. Emma, in a 24 hours period, would sleep an average of 7 to 10 hours maximum. And of course not in a row. She would sleep by sections of 25 minutes, and then she would sleep 40 minutes, and then at best she would sleep an hour and a half, and then be awake for 3 hours, and then another hour and a half. So she was definitely not one of these babies who just eats and poops and sleep. Second thing is, Emma did not sleep through the night by the time she was 12 weeks old. In fact, Emma was waking up to 10 times a night until she was 11 months old. At 11 months old, I did the sleep training and she fell through the night for the first time, but she did not consistently sleep through the night until she was well over 2 years old. Emma is now 3 years old and she still regularly wakes up during the night. And lastly, Emma as a newborn did not want to have anything to do with her cot bed. I tried everything. I bought a sleepy head, I tried putting her in her pram, I tried putting her in her car seat, I tried wrapping her tightly in a blanket, I tried everything I could. She just wouldn't sleep in her cot bed. She would only sleep in my arms and for really short periods at a time. And that lasted months. It took months until I could get her to nap in her bed. During the night, sometimes like there's a few hours during the night that she was in asleep deep enough that I could actually put her down in her bed, but that was just very, very few hours, and that process took hours. She would finally fall asleep. I would put her very gently, very, very quietly in her cot bed. I would start walking away and she would wake up within 30 seconds or 45 seconds of me putting her down, no matter how deep asleep I thought she was. And then we would start again and she would be in my arms for another 45 minutes until I felt like she was really, really deep asleep that time. And I tried putting her down, she would wake up again. I actually developed really, really good skills and I can hold my sneeze for very long periods of time now. And I'm not telling you all of this to scare expectant mothers or to complain about Emma, not at all. I'm telling you this because I deeply regret having had all these crazy expectations in my head in the first place, and I think that they actually prevented me from enjoying fully these first few weeks and months with my newborn baby and put unnecessary pressure on myself and on my baby to meet these expectations. So during the first few weeks and months of Emma's life, I was exhausted beyond words. I was frustrated, angry even at times, and crippled with guilt and worry. I was thinking, if other babies sleep an average of 18 hours a day and my sleeps half of that, less than half of that, what does that mean? You know, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? What does this mean for her development? I know that brain connections are formed during sleep time, so what does this mean for her development? And why are other mothers able to do it and I can't? And during this time, I also heard some comments and advices which were anything but helpful, and I'm just going to give you a little overview of the things I've heard, which really didn't help me and in fact fed my guilt and my frustration. When babies reach 5 kilos, they should be able to sleep through the night because they have enough reserves in their body to sleep through the night for 12 hours without needing to eat. Your baby can feel your own anxiety and frustration, and that's what's preventing your baby from sleeping. You're holding your baby too much. You're breastfeeding your baby too much. Babies sleep when the parents have decided it. If you decide that your baby is going to sleep, your baby will sleep. In other words, if your baby isn't sleeping, that means you haven't truly, deep down, decided that your baby is going to sleep. You don't really want it deep down. And finally, you should never let your baby fall asleep on your breast. And that one is funny because, with a baby who sleeps 7 hours a day and wakes up every single time I put her in the cot, and it's now 3 a.m. and I've been trying to get her to sleep for over 3 hours and I haven't slept in like 24 hours and I'm exhausted and there is nothing left in me, no strength, no energy, no willpower. Yeah, I'm gonna let my baby fall asleep on my breast because I'm just trying to survive here. So all these comments and advices were doing for me were basically putting the blame on me and making me the culprit in the situation. There was something that I was doing wrong that was preventing Emma from sleeping enough and from sleeping in her cot and from sleeping long hours at a time. So it's been 3 years now, and looking back, here's what I wish I knew before I had my first baby. All of the expectations I mentioned earlier are completely unrealistic. And not only are they unrealistic, but they also completely ignore the fact that babies are all different. Babies are just like you and me. We're not all the same. We don't all have the same sleeping habits. We don't sleep the same way. We don't need the same things to fall asleep. And we don't even need the same amount of hours of sleep every night. We have to stop talking about newborn sleep as if it is something that is under our control, because it isn't always. 3 years later, looking back, I realized that nothing was wrong with Emma and nothing was wrong with me. Emma has always been and is still today a light sleeper who doesn't need many hours of sleep to feel really energetic and happy. And so I feel like if I had known back then what I know now, things could have gone very differently for me and my baby. I wouldn't have had these crazy, unrealistic expectations. I wouldn't have been trying to swim against the current. I wouldn't have been pressuring myself and my baby to fit into this routine schedule that I had found online. Maybe I would have been able to listen to my baby's needs more carefully and respond to them more appropriately. I want to talk about the concept of acceptance and let it go a little bit more in details in another video, but I feel like these are really, really key concepts here. So I have written a letter to myself 3 years ago, and 3 years ago today my baby was about 3 weeks old. So I want to read this letter to you, and I hope that this helps some of the mothers out there whose baby isn't sleeping. My dear, I am you in 3 years, and so this message comes from a place of a little bit more experience and a little bit more wisdom. And most importantly, from a place of love and what we call in French bienveillance, benevolence and kindness. I know you're tired. I know your eyes hurt. I know your back hurts. I know your brain hurts. And if you're breastfeeding, your boobs probably hurt too. I know you're feeling frustrated. I know you even may be feeling angry. I know you may be feeling lonely even though there are people around you. You may be feeling guilty. You may want to sit on the floor and cry. And that's okay. It's okay. But know deep in your heart, even when you lose it and scream, even when it's 3 a.m. and you have nothing left in you, even when you lose all willpower and you just give in and let your baby fall asleep on your breast, even when you're sitting and crying on the floor, know that you are a good mother. You are the best mother for this baby. You are this baby's favorite person in the whole world. And your baby is a good baby. There is nothing wrong with your baby. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with your parenting. You and your baby are getting to know each other, and you both are going through so many crazy emotions right now. The best advice I can give you is let go. Let go of your expectations. Let go of that picture you had in your mind before giving birth. Listen. Listen to your baby's needs and accept that it is hard, but it is normal and it will get easier. There will be new and different challenges, but you will grow stronger and more confident in your ability to deal with them. You will know deep in your heart and in your guts which advices are helpful and which ones aren't. Your baby is beautiful and perfect. Your baby is unique. Your baby is a tiny human, not a tiny machine. Your baby doesn't care how much she weighs or how many weeks old she is or what this specialist said in their books. Your baby is telling you what she needs and you need to listen. And the only way for you to listen is to quiet down all the voices inside and around you and to let go of your expectations. You can do this, Mama. You are strong. You are a good mother. You are the best mother for this baby. And I know you're tired, but let me tell you a secret. I know this will sound crazy, but I promise it's true. One day, not that long from now, you will miss holding your baby in your arms while they sleep.